and welcome back to the Electro Lurker. First thing I want to talk about today is something actually that I forgot to mention on the last Lurker, and that's on the 23rd, some guys down in Italy made a dance video in front of the Colosseum. And I think that, electro dancing is a movement that's spread on the internet. So with electro dancing, you have a kind of an opportunity to give people a view or an insight into places that they might very well never go to. So I'm not saying that everyone should go and drive to a famous monument. Like if you live in the States, I'm not saying everyone should go drive to Mount Rushmore to film a dance video. But I mean, you think about it, every country has like a wall covered with graffiti. Every country has a train track. So that's why I think it's good to put a bit of effort in just to find some sick spots, some sick scenery that really gives people an insight into the country that you live in. Like for instance, that the last voltaic tandem video that Expander dropped. That was probably like the sickest scenery that I've ever seen in a US video. I'm guessing that they probably maybe had to drive 1 or 2 hours at the most to get there. So that's just one thing that I wanted to mention, is kind of scenery and globalization and stuff like that. Anyway, now on to the meeting. Electro Afternoon 3 happened yesterday. And at this point, I think that technology is either on crystal meth or he was bitten by a radioactive spider, because this guy got the video out within 6 hours after getting home or something crazy like that. And in case you haven't been following the whole thing, like maybe you don't have too many people on Facebook or you haven't been following, what happened is he was going to have it at the usual spot that the last 2 meetings were at. But then I guess the police or the fire department, whoever came and said, no, you need permits. So at this point I'm kind of confused about the legal system in North America, because those of you that live here in Calgary will probably, this probably looks familiar to you, because this is kind of what happened with the zombie walk, I think last year. They were going to have this zombie walk downtown, but then they got so ensnared in the red tape that they had to postpone it. But what confuses me is that in Canada, and I think probably in the States as well, there's something called the freedom of assembly. And this freedom of assembly is the reason why the Aryan Guard is allowed to march down, to basically shut down downtown Calgary and march through with a police escort for free. And in case you live in the States, the Aryan Guard is like a neo-Nazi group. So I'm kind of wondering why they get that for free, but to hold an event you have to fill out permits. So technology, if you're watching, my advice to you, I guess, is just maybe you should change the name to instead of Electro Afternoon, maybe call it Black People Suck, and then come out in some pointy ass white sheet, and then maybe you'll get it for free and you'll get a free police escort too. So anyway, now on to what you guys have all been waiting for, what I'm sure everyone is on the edge of your seat for. My opinion on the top 3 breakthrough performances. So coming in at number 3 is that girl with the plaid, what's it called? Yeah, shirt dress. The plaid shirt dress with the cinch belt. And a lot of you right now are probably thinking, oh, you're just putting her in the countdown because you think she's hot and you want to get a shout out from her on YouTube. And yeah, that's part of the reason, but that's only 20% of the reason why I'm putting her in the countdown. Basically this girl, I don't know who she is, and I don't think I've ever seen her before on Dance Gen USA's channel. So for someone who has no footage on the channel to come out and get that much screen time, that's really something exceptional. In the Midwest, here in Midwest Canada, and I think in Midwest United States as well, there's an expression called get her done. And that's what she did. She just came out, committed, opened up the limit, got footage. And you can tell that, even with the footage that she got, she's still trying to do something interesting. There's one point where she actually does one of the the Kukulka full body waves. So I think definitely a lot of potential there. She's definitely not afraid to put herself out there, and that's pretty dope. Second breakthrough performance is that girl that comes in at 47 seconds. And this is another kind of similar case. You know, this girl, she obviously knows that her skill isn't the most advanced. Her skill is kind of like Mondotech level. But you know, despite that, she just tossed away all her inhibitions and just gave it. And that's what it's all about. It's not about, like, you know, coming out trying to mimic Vulcan or do the sickest moves. It's just about coming out, opening up the limit and getting it done. And that's why I put her at number 2. And number 1 breakthrough performance of Electro Afternoon 3 is the guy coming in at 5:22 with the black shirt. Now here's where, if you want like all the flashy technical stuff, this is the guy right here that's gonna deliver it at 5:22. So overall, pretty sick vid, sick performance. Stoked to see the behind the shoot if there is one. And yeah, next month they're not having a meeting because they got competitions going. So it'll be interesting to see that. And also, don't forget as well, on when it was yesterday in Canada, biggest electro event ever in the history of Canada. Look My Electro, that's the name. And Jerem, or Jareem, however you pronounce it, was out there. And they actually created a channel just for this event. So I'll put the link in the bottom bar. Be sure to check that out. Also, there was a Vertified Kings in Italy. I'll post some vids on the Tumblr after I go through them. So be sure to check that out as well. So overall, pretty sick week. So I'll see you next week. All right, peace.